Hi everyone, join me as I explore the trendy scene and beachfront at the southern end of Melbourne. Hi everyone, and welcome to Dan's Destinations. After completing my previous guide to the Melbourne CBD, which I'll put a link in the video description below, I'm now exploring the city south of the Yarra River. While the CBD is known for its heritage building and business offices, the south side of the river is characterized as new money, with art centres, sky-rise towers, the casino, beachfront apartments, as well as its commercial ports. Also, YouTube says less than 5% of you are subscribed, so help a mate out and smash that like and subscribe button. If you're new to the city, Viator offers great tours and experiences for all major cities, and if you click on the link in the video description, it helps us out and doesn't cost you extra. Unlike the CBD, South Melbourne lacked a direct connection to the metro train network, leaving trams and buses to shoulder the burden of transporting locals and visitors alike. However, the winds of change are blowing as in 2025, the Metro Tunnel project will usher in a transformative era, with 5 brand new stations set to open. Trains are usually much faster than trams or buses and should provide travellers with faster access to South Melbourne. Now on to the guide. As Australia's oldest and most visited art museum, the National Gallery of Victoria, or NGV, has long been a beacon for art lovers, history buffs and curious travellers. Founded in 1861, the NGV was originally housed at the State Library, but as the collection expanded, it was relocated to its now iconic St Kilda Road building in 1968. In 2024, the NGV presented the highly anticipated Pharaoh exhibition of ancient Egypt. The exhibition features a dazzling array of artifacts, including statues, jewelry, sarcophagi, and funerary art, many of which are on loan from renowned institutions around the world. The exhibition centerpiece is a rare gilded coffin belonging to a high-ranking official, alongside monumental statues of deities and pharaohs. We visited it on the last day of the exhibition, and hence it was extremely crowded. A short walk south on St Kilda Road, you will find the Shrine of Remembrance. Built in 1934 to honour the soldiers who served in World War I, it is a solemn, awe-inspiring place that whispers stories of courage, loss and the resilience of a nation. On the forecourt, you will find the eternal flame and the cenotaph, both a symbol of remembrance and gratitude for those who paid the ultimate price for freedom. As you enter through the courtyard entrance, you see the Gallery of Medals, where 4,000 medals shimmer in the light, each representing a story of service and sacrifice. The shrine's underground galleries house an impressive collection of artifacts, photographs, and personal stories from Australia's military history. At the center of the underground gallery, you will find the crypt, where a bronze statue of a father and son in uniform stands, surrounded by battle honours. Up a level, you will find the sanctuary. One of the shrine's most profound features is the Ray of Light ceremony. At precisely 11 AM on November 11, Remembrance Day, a beam of sunlight shines down from an aperture in the ceiling to illuminate the stone of remembrance below. This breathtaking moment symbolizes the eternal memory of those who served. Lastly, there is a staircase that leads you up to the outer balcony, where you'll be rewarded with a spectacular view of Melbourne's city skyline, a vibrant reminder of the peace and progress made possible by those commemorated here. Located next to a shrine, you'll find the Royal Botanical Garden, which was established in 1846. Initially designed by landscape gardener Ferdinand von Müller, the gardens evolved under the stewardship of Willem Wilford, who transformed it into the picturesque haven they are today, with sweeping lawns, meandering paths, and carefully selected plantings from across the globe, creating a timeless landscape that continues to captivate visitors. The gardens are home to more than 8,500 plant species, ranging from towering trees to delicate blooms. Beyond the flora, the gardens are a refuge for Melbourne's wildlife. Birdwatchers will delight in the variety of species that calls the gardens home. At the heart of the garden lies the tranquil ornamental lake. Fringed with weeping willows and dotted with lilies, the lake offers a perfect backdrop for relaxation. You even have the option to hop on one of the traditional punt tours that glide across the lake. The gardens are a perfect escape from the hustle and bustle of the city, where you can linger, breathe deeply, and reconnect with the natural world. Eating out in Melbourne can be a very expensive affair. However, just next to the shrine, Don Don stands out as a refreshing anomaly. This no-frills Japanese eatery, just a short walk from the Shrine of Remembrance, has earned a cult following for its quick service, hearty portions and unbeatable prices. Opened in the early 2000s, they specialize in Japanese donburi and curry dishes, all made with fresh ingredients. With most dishes priced under $15, it's one of the cheapest dining options in the city, a rare gem where quality and cost coexist in perfect harmony. The key to the low prices is its small menu, allowing them to serve out dishes with an efficiency that rivals the city's best coffee joints. Orders are taken, prepared and served within minutes. Crowd favourites include the teriyaki chicken don, the gyudon, the pork katsu curry, and the tofu teriyaki don for vegetarians. The food is so good here that even the local pigeons agree. Also located nearby, Ayam Chef offers a tantalizing fusion of Malaysian and Singaporean flavours that promise to leave your taste buds begging for more. Think of it as a culinary journey, where traditional Southeast Asian recipes meet modern culinary twists, all served up in a casual yet vibrant setting that invites you to sit back, relax and savour each bite. They are famous for their signature Sunlow fried bee hoon, a dish of thin rice vermicelli noodles that is stir-fried until almost burnt, bringing out a delicate smoky umami flavour, while a rich aromatic sauce gives it an irresistible kick. Their cereal oatmeal prawns is also a favourite. Imagine juicy succulent prawns coated in a golden buttery cereal crust that dances between crispy and tender. It's a sweet salty dream come true, with oatmeal lending a delicate nuttiness to each bite. Also, no meal here would be complete without their salt and pepper calamari, which is wildly addictive. Their fresh calamari are lightly battered and fried, and seasoned with the perfect amount of salt, pepper, and a touch of chili for that satisfying heat. If you're after dessert, there's Soyyum, which opens its door in 2018. Their menu is a celebration of the soya bean in all its forms, from silky soy pudding to creamy soya bean milk drinks. It is a great vegan-friendly place for delicious desserts to escape the summer heat. Back closer to the city, we have the Eureka Tower, Melbourne's sky-high landmarks of thrills and views. Standing tall at 297 meters, it is an unmistakable part of Melbourne's skyline, and its height is only exceeded by its neighbour, the Australia 108, the tallest building in the southern hemisphere. At the top of the tower lies the Eureka Skydeck 88, an observation deck perched high above the city. The best time to visit is at sunset, when the sky lights up in a dazzling display of colours. The golden hues reflecting off the Yarra River and the city's buildings make for a spectacular sight that's hard to beat. As the sun sets, the city light begins to twinkle on, creating a magical transformation from day to night. However, do arrive early, as the sunset period is extremely popular and you'll be faced with long queues. The Yarra River is a ribbon of history and life running through the heart of Melbourne. Once it carried gold prospectors and cargo ships. Today it's carrying me and about 20 extra kilos of enthusiasm. On a tiny electric boat that looks like something IKEA dreamed up during a particularly slow design meeting.
Safety briefing before we begin. There are 2 hatches in the boat, one at the front, one at the back. The one at the front has 4 life jackets, a set of paddles and a fire extinguisher. The one at the back only has 4 life jackets.
No license? No problem. No experience? Still no problem. But if you're me, big, broad and clumsy, it's less about stepping on board and more about trying not to capsize the whole operation. Once you're in, it's smooth sailing. These little boats are electric, silent and about as intimidating as a cup of tea. They top out at a leisurely pace of 5 knots or 9 kilometers per hour. You will be provided with a map to guide you on your cruise. We started near Flinders and sailed west to Docklands, but had to turn back earlier due to high winds making the open water a bit frisky. We instead sailed back down to 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗏 before returning to Go Boat. Melbourne's a city that loves contrast. Old meets new, fast meets slow. Here on the Yarra, you get it all. Floating past skyscrapers, boat houses, and maybe even some sport addicts practicing rowing for their next race. The rules are simple: no speeding, no crashing, and no turning this into the next Fast and Furious sequel. You need to stay with your boat, so no docking it on an island to play Indiana Jones. You are a very good captain. For who? Oh, thank you.
Just like a car.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing Grand
Do you like it?
Grand Theft Auto. It works. Whatever works.
My first officer.
Yeah.
First mate.
First mate.
Go
is
pilot.
right. To make your trip more enjoyable, pack a cooler and some local goodies, and you'll have a perfect picnic on the water. Pro tip: hit up the Queen Victoria Market before you head out. And let's be honest, I didn't get this figure by skipping meals. Passengers are able to partake in wine or beer, although the person piloting the boat must remain alcohol-free. We did have to pack away our drinks eventually as the wind picked up and almost blew our cups away. Oh, so sorry, I can't. Yeah, and then pull it, loop it. Yeah, we had to stop here at the 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗏𝗏 Pier because Craig needed to use the toilet. Another useful tip is to visit the restroom before you sail, or rather, go before you go boat. So here's to Go Boat. Prove that sometimes the best adventures don't require a map, just a river, a boat, and a willingness to go with the flow. As the sun was setting, we turned back, waving to some of the people on the Yarra River water cycle excursion. On arrival, the staff will help with docking the boat. This group managed to crash their boat while docking. Located on the Yarra River banks, Port Melbourne is an entire entertainment complex with lavish dining establishment, world-class shopping facilities, and endless opportunities for fun. The heart of the Crown experience is of course its casino, which boasts a sprawling playground of flashing lights, gleaming slot machines, and table full of excitement. For those who prefer to play in a different way, 𝗟𝗡𝗞𝗦 karaoke bar provides the perfect escape. Step into a vibrant neon-lit space and belt out your favorite tunes in one of the many private karaoke rooms. Looking for something a bit more lighthearted? Holy Moly Mini Golf offers a playful spin on the traditional golf course. This colourful, quirky mini golf course is filled with whimsical obstacles, fun themes, and plenty of photo opportunities. Also, when hunger strikes, the Crown Food Court has you covered with an impressive array of dining options. Established in 1867, the South Melbourne Market stands as Melbourne's oldest continually operating market, serving locals for over 150 years. It has established itself as a vibrant hub for fresh produce, specialty foods, and community gatherings. Among its diverse offerings, several key food vendors have garnered acclaim. Agatha Patisserie. This Paris-inspired bakery founded by pastry chef 𝗟𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗏 delights visitors with freshly baked French pastries crafted in an open kitchen. Signature items include the pandan croissant, a unique fusion of French technique and Asian flavor. Hector Seafood is renowned for its wide selection of fresh seafood. It offers everything from oysters to locally sourced ready-to-eat seafood, making a go-to for seafood enthusiasts seeking quality and variety. South Melbourne Market dim sum is a local favourite. Its dim sum have been a staple for decades, attracting patrons with their generous size and flavourful fillings. A must-try for any visitor. Speaking of uniquely Melbourne, the dim sum is not your normal Chinese 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗏. It was born right here in Melbourne in the 1940s by Chinese-Australian chef William Wing Young. The dim sum, or dimmy as locals call it, was designed to cater to Australian tastes, while drawing inspiration from traditional Chinese dumplings. 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗏 is also a local favourite, serving up a variety of traditional and fusion flavoured pies. The market isn't short on places to grab a bite, but then there's Hector's Deli, a sandwich shop that's taken the humble sandwich and turned it into an art form. What started as a cozy little deli in Richmond has grown into Melbourne's favourite amongst locals, with the South Melbourne outpost cementing its reputation as the place to go for a sandwich that's anything but ordinary. The star of the show is the beef and pickle sandwich, which is filled with tender, slow-cooked beef layered with tangy pickles, nestled between soft bread with a slather of their signature hectic sauce. A creamy, zesty combination that ties it all together. Another signature sandwich is the breakfast sausage and egg muffin. Salty and savoury sausage meat topped with a fried egg and American cheese that puts Macca's breakfast muffins to shame. Right behind Hector's Deli, you'll find StreetDogz, which only opens at night. It started as a humble food truck and has earned a cult following by serving up some of the most outrageous supercharged hot dogs in town. The Leroy features a juicy smoky Kransky, crispy bacon, caramelized onions, cheesy sauce, and a generous drizzle of barbecue sauce. It's smoky, crunchy, cheesy, and absolutely addictive. The Paco is loaded with a beef sausage, melted mozzarella cheese, and topped with potato frites and quail eggs for that touch of elegance. Fresh, bold, and bursting with flavour, this is a fiesta in a bun. The Ruby is a sizzling stunner with a chorizo sausage slathered in beef chili and their homemade hot sauce. This is sure to leave an afterburn on your lips. They also serve the Colombiana drink, which is a cola champagne soda, an orange soft drink that tastes like cream soda with hints of bubblegum. Fondly nicknamed the Lego Building, the Icon Tower is the newest landmark in St Kilda, with its striking design that screams to your inner child. It is a 119 apartment tower that was completed in 2015 and practically invites tourists to take creative photos of it. Albert Park is Melbourne's oasis of calm most days of the year, but come March, this quiet stretch of parkland transforms into a roaring amphitheatre of speed and spectacle. This is the home of the Australian Grand Prix, where the world's fastest drivers meet one of the sport's most iconic circuits. Originally, the Australian Grand Prix called Adelaide home, but in 1996, Melbourne claimed pole position, bringing Formula 1 to the Albert Park circuit. a temporary street track that winds around the lake. When it's not hosting the Grand Prix, it's open to everyone. And by everyone, I mean me. So naturally, I thought, why not live out my F1 dreams with my trusty e-scooter? I may not hit 300 km per hour, but 25 still feels pretty darn fast when you're hunched over a scooter, imagining yourself as Lewis Hamilton, swerving past corners, dodging joggers, and pretending I'm on a hot lap. It's all fun and games until you realize there are cyclists pedaling faster than your scooter. But hey, it's about the thrill, right? If you are visiting Melbourne in March, do grab a seat on the grandstand and savour the race. If you are visiting any other time, grab a bicycle and race the lap. St Kilda's Acland Street houses the main shopping strip next to the St Kilda foreshore. This buzzing boulevard has it all: beachside vibes, bohemian flair, and a history as rich as the desserts it's famous for. It is a melting pot of cultures, flavours and stories. Monarch Cakes has been baking memories since 1934, when it was opened by Polish and Jewish migrant 𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗏, with her recipes handed down through generations of Eastern European bakers. Their chocolate Kugelhof is simply divine, a cake that's as decadent as it looks. It's rich, chocolatey, and just dense enough to remind you it's been perfected over nearly a century. Then there's the Polish cheesecake. Think silky smooth, not too sweet, and just enough tang to keep you coming back for another bite. Monarch's coffee is also really good, making it the perfect pairing for any of their signature sweets. Outside the cake shop, you'll find the 𝗟𝗡𝗥 mural, a larger-than-life tribute to the iconic DJ. On O'Donnell Gardens, you can view the automotive geology's car sculpture by Jason Waterhouse, which is part of the big sculpture exhibition. It is a 1980 Volkswagen Golf sculpture that's available for sale. Celebrating its 113th anniversary in 2025, Luna Park is the oldest amusement park in Australia and one of the oldest in the world still operating. Opened in 1912, it has remained operating through 2 world wars, countless cultural shifts, and remains a beloved landmark of St Kilda. The Scenic Railway is the oldest continually operating wooden coaster in the world, with its old-world charm, breathtaking views of Port Phillip Bay, and an old-school brakeman riding along for the journey. The thrill and terror of this ride comes not from the height and dips of the climb, but more from its rickety design and whether it can hold up under my oversized derriere.
Here comes the first one! Ready? Ready?
There are also old school favourite rides like the Dodgem carts, where you can channel your inner Formula 1 driver, or Mad Max, depending on your mood. This is where parents send their kids to teach them what driving in peak hour Melbourne traffic feels like. Pro tip, never underestimate a child behind the wheels of a Dodgem cart. They show no mercy. There's also the Ghost Train, a more cheesy rather than spooky train ride that speeds along faster and tighter curves than a Grand Prix race. The carousel is a working museum centerpiece of the park. Visually stunning, her 68 horses and 2 chariots are individually hand-painted and intricately decorated. Luna Park is not just an amusement park, it's a time capsule into how Melbourne's forefathers celebrated fun in the sun. A word to the wise, the queues here are pretty long on weekends, with each ride averaging 50 minutes to 1.5 hours wait at the queues. So it's best to arrive early in the morning and evaluate whether to purchase the unlimited ride pass, as you need at least 2 rides to break even on the unlimited pass. If you're just dropping in for an hour or two, you may not have enough time to sufficiently use the unlimited pass. St Kilda Beach is where the city comes to unwind. From the vibrant boardwalks to the iconic pier and even a few surprising local residents, this spot has something for everyone. The beach is the closest and most easily accessible beach from Melbourne, with free shower facilities available. The newly rebuilt St Kilda Pier has some of the best views in town. It was closed down during COVID for redevelopment and was recently reopened in end 2024. Take a walk down the pier and you'll pass by majestic rows of sailing yachts docked by the marina. The pier is also a popular spot for fishing. Here's the real secret. Tucked away at the end of the pier's breakwater, behind the Pier Kiosk, lives a colony of fairy penguins. You don't have to drive all the way to Phillip Island to see penguins, as St Kilda has its very own colony. The fairy penguins are the smallest penguin species in the world, and they've made the breakwater their home. The best time to see them is at dusk, as they return from a day of fishing. Do note, flash photography and normal torchlights are not allowed. Only red-coloured torchlights are allowed, as the white flashes causes anxiety and stress amongst the penguins. Dogs are also not allowed on the pier. The breakwater used to be open to the public at night, but after the redevelopment of the pier, the breakwater is now sealed off at night to protect the penguins, with plans by the state government to introduce a paid viewing experience. Also located on the St Kilda foreshore, you'll find the start of the Solar System Art Trail, which I previously made a video on, which I'll link in the video description. It was conceived as a public art project to inspire curiosity and a sense of wonder about our place in the universe. Opened in the early 2000s, the trail reimagines the solar system, with the sun and the planets positioned at distance proportional to their actual orbits, scaled down to fit the length of St Kilda. It's best explored via bicycle or scooter, as the trail spans 6.6 kilometers. I'll leave a link to the Google Maps location of each sculpture in the video description. After a long walk, you will likely be hungry. Pipis Kiosk is known for serving some of the best fish and chips in the city. This little gem is where locals and visitors alike come to indulge in crispy golden English street food. The fish is always fresh, the batter light and crunchy, with chips that are thick, fluffy and just the right amount of salty. Pair it with a squeeze of lemon or a dollop of tartar sauce, and you got yourself a meal that tastes like summer by the bay. Another benefit is a great beach view as you enjoy your lunch. But be warned, your meal might attract some uninvited guests. St Kilda seagulls are seasoned chip thieves, and they'll stop at nothing to snag a bite. Also located nearby, 𝗟𝗏𝗡𝗞𝗦 Cafe is a carnivore's dream come true. While it may look like a trendy cafe on the surface, this spot is a heavyweight champion in the world of American-style barbecue and slow-cooked meats. The beef ribs are a stuff of legend, massive, tender and smoked to perfection. Coated in a rich, flavorful rub and slow-cooked for hours, the beef practically melts off the bone. Each bite is a smoky, juicy explosion of flavor, balanced by a hint of charred crust that only proper barbecue can deliver. No barbecue feast is complete without some stellar sides, and the cornbread here is a standout. Slightly sweet with a buttery richness, it's soft on the inside with just the right amount of crumble and pairs perfectly with the smoky meats. One of the advantages of being a coastal city is that Melbourne is visited by many beautiful maritime ships, and avid ship spotters are spoiled for choice, from large cargo ships to luxurious cruise ships. Majority of the cruise ships dock at Station Pier, but we occasionally get dignified visitors like the Mexican tall ship 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗏, or our honoured Royal Australian Navy like the HMAS Adelaide or HMAS Canberra. I even managed to catch the HMAS Melbourne, which visited Station Pier just before its decommissioning. But have a care flying your drones around the military, as unlike the commercial cruise ships, they can make their displeasure known. Another interesting event is the annual Boxing Day Yacht Race off Station Pier. If you are a fan of yacht races, drop by Station Pier on 26 December to catch a great procession of sailing yachts. Next to Station Pier, you'll find Princess Pier, named after the Prince of Wales, who visited Melbourne in May 1920. Built between 1912 and 1915, this heritage-listed pier was once a bustling hub of maritime activity, serving as a key point for passenger arrival and military deployments during both World Wars. It was decommissioned in 1990s, and squatters later caused a fire in the late 1990s that destroyed the store structures. Much of the original pier was restored in 2011, but the remnants of the old pylons were preserved as is and now serves as a striking feature of the site. These timber stumps rise from the water like sentinels of history, creating an ethereal scene that changes with the light. It is a favourite spot for photographers and Instagram enthusiasts, especially at sunset. Princess Pier is also a fantastic spot for fishing, with locals often casting their lines in hope of catching bream, snapper or flathead. Further up the road, you come to Sandridge Lookout, a small yet striking landmark offering sweeping views of Port Phillip Bay and the city's skyline. Overlooking the mouth of the Yarra River as it flows into Port Phillip Bay, this structure is a great viewing point for commercial cargo ships sailing into the Port Melbourne container yards or up the river to Swanston Dock. The design of Sandridge Lookout is shaped like the bow of a ship, in tribute to the immigrants who arrived in Melbourne during the mid-19th century. The structure features metallic blades that catch the coastal breeze, creating a gentle, almost otherworldly singing sound as the wind moves through. While I was there, I met Ivan, David, Sue and their friends, who were out for a jog and wanted a group shot. From here, you'll be able to catch a glimpse of the Westgate Bridge, a vital infrastructure connecting the bustling city to the western suburb and beyond to Geelong. This 2.5-kilometre long bridge carries thousands of vehicles every day, serving as a crucial link for commuters, freight and travellers heading towards the Great Ocean Road. Construction of the Westgate Bridge began in the late 1960s, with the goal of creating a monumental crossing that would ease congestion to the city's rapidly expanding west. On October 15, 1970, disaster struck when a section of the bridge collapsed during construction, killing 35 workers and leaving a deep scar in Melbourne's history. It remains one of Australia's worst industrial accidents, and a sobering reminder of the human cost behind large-scale engineering feats. Despite its tragic beginnings, the Westgate Bridge was completed and opened in 1978, becoming a testament to Melbourne's ability to persevere. At the base of the bridge, you also find the salt lakes, or pink lakes. In summer, when the conditions are just right, the salinity of the water and algae bloom will cause the lake to turn a bright pink. It looks visually stunning with the Westgate Bridge in the background, but the smell is so strong that it can be off-putting, akin to a latex factory. The last time it turned pink was in May 2019, just before COVID, but I was lucky it turned pink again on 1st February 2025, just as I was preparing this guide, and I was able to get additional shots. Say hello to the camera.
Hello.
Louder.
Hello.
Also, no visit to the south side of the city would be complete without stopping by the Brighton Beach Boxes, a vibrant and iconic part of the city's seaside charm. These brightly coloured beachside shacks have become one of Melbourne's most beloved landmarks, attracting tourists, photographers and Instagrammers from around the world. They were originally built in the 1860s when bathing boxes were a popular feature along Melbourne's beaches, offering a private space for swimmers to change and store their belongings. Today, many of the boxes are privately owned, adding to their allure and uniqueness. Lastly, one of my favourite beach locations is the Cerberus Shipwreck in Half Moon Bay. It's a bit further down from Brighton Beach and was sunk there as a breakwater. The wooden stumps are the remnants of a wooden pier that used to stretch out to the ship. I did make a guide for this previously and I'll put a link in the video description. That's it for this guide. Thank you for watching this far and I hope you found it useful. And if so, please do hit that like and subscribe button.